which is, what if a disbeliever says it before death? Normally, a person who lived in disbelief will not get to say it before death. He's not eligible for it. Unless if he is one whose heart was soft enough to recognize the truth and the oneness of Allah, and he just needed to utter the word of the shahada. We have al-Usayrim, you have this young Jew. In some cases, at the time of the Prophet ﷺ, al-Usayrim joined the battlefield along with Muslims. He was the last one of Al-Ansar to accept Islam, of Al-Khazraj. So when they found him, he was injured on the battlefield, they asked him, he was not a Muslim. Everybody knew that he was not a Muslim. He refused to accept Islam. They asked him, what brought you to the battlefield? Is it out of prejudice? They wanted to know exactly what is the reason behind his participation. He said, no, as a matter of fact, ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammad Rasulullah. Then he died. So this is somebody who said the kalima and died on the battlefield without making wudu, without praying a single rak'ah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave him a good end. He knew that he deserved that. And the young Jew who had been serving the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, it did not really take him much to conclude what he believed in by the heart, but he did not dare to say it by his tongue because of his family. So when his father said, Ubay Abul Qasim, right away he hastened to say, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. Then he died. That's why, brothers and sisters, that gives us a very important lesson, which is, one has to be very careful with what they say and how do they judge others. One, we're not allowed to curse any specific person, whether he is a believer or a non-believer. You cannot curse a person who is the worst kafir on earth if he's still alive. You cannot curse him by name. Why? Because you never know. How will he end up? Hadith Abdullah ibn Mas'ud, may Allah be pleased with him, in which the Prophet ﷺ says, I swear by the one in whose hand is my soul, one of you will work according to the deed and the work of Ahlul Jannah, until there is nothing left between him and entering Al-Jannah but an arm's length. Then he will change. His heart will change. We see that all the time. Then he will do according to the work of the dwellers of fire, and he will be doomed to fire. And on the opposite, one will be working throughout his life with the deeds of Ahlun Nar, until there is only an arm's length between him and entering the fire of hell. Then he will repent, he will testify to the oneness of Allah, and he will work according to the deeds of Ahlul Jannah. Then he will be destined to paradise. May Allah make us amongst Ahlul Jannah. So one, we have to repeat the kalima frequently so that we will find it easy to say it at the time of death. Second, it is recommended for family members, visitors who visit somebody who is sick, every once in a while to remind him to say, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah, hoping that it will be his last statement before death. Thirdly, some people push. Somebody is dying, he is in pain, and he says, say la ilaha illallah. So he says, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. Then once again, say again, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, until they bother him, say, I don't want to say it. No, don't push. If he says it, then cool off. Calm down. Give him a break. But if the time is prolonged and he is still alive, then remind him with it once again. Barakallahu fikum.